Okay, so good morning everyone. I'm Andrea Ghiradini from the Department of Engineering of the University of Ferrara, and today I would like to show you a brief presentation regarding an evaluation of the most relevant sources of micropollutants at a catchment scale and their potential effects on edible crops due to irrigation with surface water. As you know, pharmaceuticals or part of the consumed pharmaceuticals may reach wastewater treatment plants, and if not totally degraded, may be released in the receiving water body via treated effluent. But considering a high-intensity rainfall event, it may happen that wastewaters are directly discharged in the environment without any further treatment via combined sewer overflow. Furthermore, also surface runoff from arable land amended with animal manure and treated sewer sludge may be considered as a significant source of micropollutants in the receiving water body. Finally, residues of these pharmaceuticals may re-enter in an agricultural environment via irrigation with contaminated surface water, and then pose a risk to the edible crops. And so we ask ourselves, firstly, how can we estimate the contribution of these three sources, so combined sewer flow, treated effluent, and surface runoff, with particular focus to this last one, because it was less investigated in the recent years. And then we also try to investigate the potential effects on crops due to irrigation with surface water. So to ask the first question, so how can we estimate the contribution of surface runoff to the pollution of pharmaceuticals in the environment, we had to make some steps because it was a very huge topic to deepen. So firstly, step by step, we investigated the amount of compounds that is retained in different types of manure from different animals with a dedicated review. And then we investigated the different models and the different processes that may happen once pharmaceuticals are amended in soil via manure or sewage sludge. And we did for that a second review of the different models that can understand the fate of pharmaceuticals in such a complex system. And finally, we also had to try face a different topic. So what are the uncertainties in this kind of problems? Because sampling the water flows is not so easy. Water flows may, the concentration of pharmaceuticals in water flows may change depending on time and space. So we try understanding what kind of uncertainties, how much uncertainties we could expect in this kind of modeling that we are going to do. And finally, we try to understand the fate of two pharmaceuticals, carbamazepine, that is consumed only by human, and sulfamethoxazole, that is consumed by both human and animals, on a catchment scale, in a case study, of course, in a river that received the surface water, the wastewater of 5 combined sewer overflow and 3 wastewater treatment plants. And also a lot, because it's a rural area, a lot of surface runoff from arable land. And in collaboration with Dr. Zoboli and Professor Zesner of the Technische Universität in Vienna, we elaborate a procedure to understand and evaluate the amount of pharmaceuticals released by these emission pathways on an annual basis. And what we found is that, of course, focusing on a carbamazepine that is consumed only by humans, wastewater treatment plant effluent is the main relevant pathways of contamination. But considering sulfamethoxazole that is also consumed by animals, surface runoff became the most relevant source of contribution due to the high amount of manure that is disposed on arable land in a rural area. And so that in collaboration with the Department of Environment of the University of York, and so with Professor Boxall, we tried to estimate what kind of effects we may expect in the end of these pathway. So we take now the surface water that is contaminated, and then we irrigate edible crops. In this case, we irrigated garden cress, that is a commonly cultivated crop in Northern Europe. And we found that, of course, some effect some significant effect was observed regarding the mass weight, the root length, and the total length of this plant. So concluding, we think that further research should focus on this topic because the contribution of surface runoff to the release of contaminants may be higher than those expect. And the effects on agricultural environments on many different matrices, of course also in plants, may be observable. Thank you for your attention.